Hi everyone. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. It's free and it really helps the channel to grow and thrive. Thank you. So this will be a video which in one sense is focused on the comedy and the levity of it all, and at the same time, given where we are in the world today and in this country, in the US specifically, it's also deadly serious. But it relates to color and how it is connected astrologically to the orange president. And first, I'll begin by replaying a video that I first posted in the summer of 2020, at which time I primarily focused on just orange. But after you watch that previously posted video, I will follow with an explanation of a little more in regard to the orange, and I will explain in detail also how the yellow part of the spectrum correlates as well. This video is primarily about color, and I do encourage you to look at it carefully because the color scheme shown in these wheels is accurate and very revealing about the associated signs. To illustrate how it works, I've chosen to use my favorite piñata, namely our embattled president, a man who doesn't miss a chance to insult or make fun of anyone in his path. I'm hoping that as we head into the second half of this crazy and contentious June of 2020, I can perhaps bring in some levity. This topic does have a serious side, in a way all things Trump do. But at the same time, if you have any sense of humor, all things Trump tend to have a comedic angle. The man manages to be simultaneously funny and dangerous. You know, a bit like a dastardly clown. This wheel shows the best color scheme for the signs. The primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, correspond to the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. In between, you add a bit of yellow to Taurus, which tones the fire wagon red down to a more earthy red-orange. Gemini is then full orange. Cancer has more yellow in it, so it becomes bronze or amber. Virgo adds some green to the yellow of Leo to get a kind of toned down military green color. Libra, halfway between Leo and Sagittarius, becomes pure green. Scorpio pulls in some blue to the green of Libra, which turns it into aqua or turquoise. Capricorn adds some red to the blue of Sagittarius so as to get something between midnight blue and black. By Aquarius, the red influence is turning it violet, and in Pisces there is just enough blue to give it a wine hue. Astrologically speaking, it appears our president is taking his colors quite literally. First of all, he is Gemini, so that takes it to the heart of the matter. But we always have to look to the ascendant and its ruler to get a sense of a person's self-image, the facade they want to present to the world. Leo rising is yellow, which isn't terribly far away from orange, but since his sun is in Gemini and it rules Leo, we're back to orange again. Venus is the significator of beauty and how we want to look attractive, and here it's in Cancer, which being amber is even closer to orange than Leo, and since it's conjunct Saturn, you can bet he's going to be insecure about it and will be looking to overcompensate. So basically the man wants to look somewhere between yellow and pure orange, which is basically the deep amber bronze of Cancer. Does he achieve his goal? I would say sometimes he does, but mostly he seems to somehow be subconsciously pulled by the wishes of his Gemini heart and he tends to drift into the purest of Valencia orange. All right, so explaining a little more, the wheel with this color scheme that you see in this graphic originates in 20th century Europe, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, an occult organization that is said to have first proposed this scheme. And I've always used this during all the decades of my astrological journey because not only does it make the most sense, but I've been able to correlate it repeatedly over the years through the way people behave, not just to their sun signs, but sometimes it can be the ascendant, or it can be a sign that for some reason is particularly enhanced in a chart, or even during a certain period of a person's life. So for example, if a person is, let's say, Capricorn, which typically will drift toward the darker colors like black or midnight blue, they might be in a period of their life where something is happening in the chart that may draw them to the opposite end of the spectrum to then wear very bright colors in the, say, Gemini, Cancer part of the zodiac, or it could be a vice versa thing where someone is natively in the bright summer months, but then maybe experiencing a, for example, Saturn period, which will tend to promote the blacks and browns, Saturn as the natural ruler of Capricorn. So now you can see in Trump's chart, it's pretty clear that the tilt toward orange, for obvious reasons, is there. But if you want to expand on the yellow, which at the time I wasn't as focused on because I just didn't have enough information about his habits, or if I did, I neglected to mention it. The orange is clear. It's the makeup, it's the constant obsession with looking that way and so forth. The yellow, something I didn't mention, is the focus on gold, because Leo rising in his chart, Leo as the ascendant is the facade, how a person wants to be seen by the world, and ascendants tend to be a very strong identifier in a person's chart. They point to the moment of birth, it's the instinctive response, it's how I want to be seen, it's the self-image, and so on. And so with yellow there, it's all the gold. You know, he wants to have gold around him. He moves into the White House and starts doing this gaudy display of gold everywhere. There are rumors about gold toilets and at Mar-a-Lago and so forth. So gold is connected to the sun. The sun is the primary ruler of Leo, and so that links it in that way to his chart. And a final point, notice the Saturn-Venus conjunction in Cancer, which is in between orange and yellow, amber, close enough to both the gold motif and the orange look. Saturn conjunct Venus tends to correlate with insecurities about the way one looks, Venus being the natural planet of beauty, and Saturn is a contracting, reducing planet, reducing archetype. And you need enough self-knowledge, enough self-awareness, enough depth, which of course this guy has zero on that level. He is literally the manifestation of the shallow end of the pool, and so he's going to be completely unconscious of that, and therefore Saturn as an overcompensation planet linked to the Venus also makes this pattern very clear.